Hi guys, what's up? Thank you so much for watching Mostly Sane. I am Prajakta and I am very excited right now because I did not expect this one to go through. I had my hopes that I would get to sit down and have a chat with you, but like I'm
Did
so
you say mostly sane?
That's my handle, yes.
Okay.
That's also on my YouTube
I hope I
channel.
don't get the sane bit.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's fine. But thank you so much. Oh, we've got Richard Curtis, by the way. I'm rambling because, well, it's him. Hi.
It's very good to see you.
It's very nice
I
to
remember
see
how
you.
brilliant you were presenting at Goalkeepers last year.
No, you don't. How has it been for you at the UN so far?
Well, the big moment came this morning when I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I've just got married 3 weeks ago, and I said, look at my wedding ring, and I looked at my finger and it was gone. And I dropped it here
At the
last night, exactly.
And
but
you found it? Is it the same one?
miraculously we found it. So that's fine. I mean, look, it's exciting here because halfway through the SDGs, which I'm unbelievably passionate about, and we kind of came at everyone saying, you know, games are won or lost in the second half. So that feeling that, as it were, it's a moment to hypercharge the work that we've been doing is very strong here.
Yeah.
And I think there are some big new ideas on the table. It was brilliant that, you know, India has made Africa part of the G20, you know, years after that should have happened. And a lot of people are talking about the big financial institutions. I don't understand them properly, but there's a lot more international money that no one's ever been talking about that could be being applied to the, you know, saving of lives and fighting climate. So I'm feeling kind of optimistic.
Optimistic?
Yeah.
Is there something that you did in the first half that you want to kind of accelerate in the second? Something that worked really well and you want to put in more might into that? Because you know that's something that's going to help us reach our goals.
That's a really interesting question. I mean, I think there are opportunities. I mean, really, the progress, as it were, that $1 trillion has gone into renewable energy, you know, is amazing. In 2005, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
The question is that, you know, Mia Motley was just saying we're being chased by a dog and we're not running fast enough.
Yeah.
That there has been amazing progress on climate, the arrival of electric cars, you know, the push for wind farms, all of those things. So I think the sense that there is an economic viability in alternative energy and in the battle for sustainable business and the way that business has come on board, but we just have to, you know, supercharge those things again.
You know, so a lot of my audience is young and they're very eager though, because the conversation has been very, very loud, thank God, in India lately with climate action especially. So a lot of them speak about how they want to work, but a lot of times they do not know how to work towards these goals. And so personally for you in your life, is there a sustainable change that you made in your everyday life? It could be as small as segregating garbage, or it could be as small as not using single-use plastics. But is there one change that you made that kind of helped you in understanding how impactful that can be in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I would say to your generation, you're better than we were. I'm absolutely sure about that. During the lockdown that we had during COVID here, you know, mainly my kids argued about Taylor Swift, but when they could put that aside, their big issues were race, gender, climate.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a deeper, more thoughtful generation. So, you know, 3 cheers to you and to your audience. I mean, my new obsession, I don't know how relevant it is, but is, you know, the individual power, not only in the actions we take, but in the things we buy and where we put our money.
And being aware about it.
So you genuinely should be aware whether or not, as it were, the food you buy is local, whether or not you're buying plastics, whether your clothes you buy are in sweatshops, that power of your money. And if you're saving money, you know, some banks are absolute scoundrels and are investing in things that are going to damage the climate, and others aren't. Go online, find out what your bank is up to. And if you don't like it, if they're investing in cigarette companies, take your money out of them and put it somewhere where, you know, your cash, while you're going around having a happy life, is going to be doing good.
That's great advice. One last question. You've been a storyteller. How important or how impactful do you think is storytelling when it comes to speaking about any of the SDGs. To get the message through to as many people as possible. Because after a while, sometimes it gets so lost in translation with the way the big words are used in rooms, and then sometimes you can't make it through to the younger people. So how impactful do you think storytelling proves to be in a situation like that?
Well, I think, storytelling and examples. I think one of the things that I would say to your audience is when you find out something good or interesting, I mean, I heard Mia Motley say just flatly that if the World Bank lends money to a poor country, they lend it asking for 15% back for 5 years. If they lend it to a rich company, they lend it for 15 years, only asking for 4% back. Now that fact makes me furious.
Yeah.
So, preserve your facts. And yet, yesterday I met this girl, Helena, from Ecuador, and in Ecuador,
of course I know Helena.
They just had a vote, and the whole of Ecuador voted to stop oil being pulled out of their forest.
Yeah.
Now that really excites me. So in some way, communication is about finding things like saying, we're halfway through, let's change the game. But it's also when you've got an example of things working, or when you've got an example of something that makes you angry, repeat that example, repeat that fact.
And make it good.
And make that count. People need evidence when they're arguing.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. This was such a great conversation, and I mean,
thank you very much for talking about these things and being here.
I'm
at the
very happy
UN.
to be here. I'm very, very
Instead
grateful
of just
to be here.
being at the movies watching another.
I'm going to do that after.
Oh, okay.